Hello, this is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly swing trade ideas video where we bring you stocks based on specific technical price patterns. We're also going to look at some stocks that we currently own right now that I think look interesting again for either a second entry or sort of ready to make another move. And as always, these videos are sponsored by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. We curate ideas from their stock lists. You can get access to the stock lists with a link in the description of this video. So we've got a few things to talk about here. I do want to spend some time, though, just highlighting sort of the market environment because it's sort of in play and it's at an interesting kind of inflection point or potential inflection point. We've been talking about this area in our analysis videos and our market analysis videos. But, if we're looking here at the S&P 500, we had this nice breakout in early October. We ran up to about 3550, and we've essentially been steadily sort of pulling back here and, falling back to this breakout zone above 3400. So again, this is sort of where the line of the sand is in my eyes here for, even intermediate term momentum at this point, to keep this market from, cascading or going into sort of some ugly sort of spiral. I do think staying above 3,400 is going to be ideal and best case for the bulls. We're trading just above it right now. We've got a lot of inside days being printed. Look at this indecision going on here from yesterday's price action, today's price action. So the market is definitely sort of, kind of placing its bets and figuring out what's going on here. So I do think, the S&P 500 here is just something that is quite interesting, and watching for some vol expansion out of these inside days, I think is just itself a trade idea, and it's also going to impact basically everything else we talk about because, if the market ends up breaking down here in some type of violent way, then, all the long ideas that look good right now that we're going to cover are not going to be worth anything because they're going to be carried down with the market. So I think the S&P here looks interesting. I think the Russell looks interesting here as well. Again, broke out, consolidating sideways, mostly through time, still holding above 159. So again, there's your level. And I think the Nasdaq 100, once again, 280 here. That was the breakout level, ran up into the 290s. And now we've been basically pulling back here for the past week and a half. We're closer to the breakout zone. We're trying to, stabilize right here. And this is the spot I think you want to be paying attention. So all the indices I think are worth watching right now. Your levels of to the downside, and we can see if dip buyers step in here and support this market. Lots of interesting sort of flag patterns, if you will, kind of developing in lots of these markets. So that is first and foremost to take you through some of couple of our technical scans. So again, these are scans that are all available on our website. You can learn more about them. I'm going to just share a couple of them, and then we're going to look at a couple of trade ideas that we currently have on. So GRWG. So this one here is hitting our fresh breakout scan. It's not a 52-week high breakout. This is a breakout from some type of contraction here. So you can see this particular stock, nice strong uptrend in play, nice sort of base that it's carved out over the past month and a half. And here we go today, 8% up, breaking out above prior highs. Prior last week's highs, going to be a heavier volume day. So I think this one's interesting here. It's a very micro cap stock, small float, so be careful with this one, but I really like the setup here, GRWG. If you believe in this market, that's one to pay attention to. That comes from our breakout scan, and then our pullback scan, which is one of my favorite scans, probably the most popular we have, SGEN. So this one here, again, you can look at it. Actually, this is a recently closed out trade of ours. I think we owned it. I know we accumulated at some point in down here, and then we essentially scaled into strength, target 1, target 2. So we're no longer in this trade anymore for our Merlin trading strategy, but it's setting back up now with this technical pullback scan that we have. You can see just multiple days down in a row. You've got a nice strong momentum trend at our back, and it's starting to lift up here. So SGEN, I think that looks pretty interesting coming from our pullback strength scan. You can learn more about that on the website. So those are some bullish ideas. One from the bearish side here is coming from our, it's the inverse of this scan. So it's basically the bear sort of formation for the pullback. So we're looking at Expedia here, and I like this one because you can see Expedia certainly nowhere near its prior all-time highs. So, longer term, it's still sort of making lower highs, and intermediate term, it has, it's just messy. I think that's just the best way here. It's mostly sideways, but I think what you can sort of glean is you've got this 4-day rally that has sort of taken place here. You had a bit of a rejection yesterday, maybe even a gravestone doji of sorts, and then you can see you're starting to break down here. Lots of overhead supply at this level. If it starts falling back into this range, it can get pretty ugly. So EXPE, again, you got to be tactical with this because it's just a lot of noise, a lot of sideways, but that's showing up there on our bear flag trend scan, so or bear pullback scan. So those are a few different technical price patterns. Two names that I wanted to talk about that we own. So we do own. We have long positions in both of these stocks already. So ATVI, so this is Activision. So Activision here has been just consolidating nicely. I'd like to just say that this is worth paying attention to from a purely broad sort of consolidation breakout potential stock. It's in a long-term uptrend. It's trading just under, I guess, its highs here from 2018, but it's in a long-term uptrend. It's back towards highs. It's put in a nice consolidation, so I'd be paying attention to it. Again, we do own this. We've got a really good bottom of the range price here in the 77s. So, and it's it's a larger position for us. Not a huge position, but it's on the bigger side. So ATVI, we own it. We haven't taken any profit, looking for higher prices. We'll see if we get it. Number 2 stock that we own in our Merlin trading strategy is Zynga, ZNGA. So this one here, again, we've been in this for some time, and the way Merlin works is it's looking for opportunities as stocks are selling off. So by the time the technicals start firming up, we generally are already in the money, and that's good and bad because sometimes stocks are selling off and they continue to sell off, and then we get stopped out. Other times they firm up like Zynga. So we do own this from the low 8s. So we have taken some profit in this already. We've hit our first target, but we still own it, and we're still looking for higher prices. I think we're looking for up into the 10s, and you can see this is pulled back nicely, low volume pullback after this nice thrust off of the lows here into the 8s. It's back into this range here, so I think it's interesting from a price potential pullback momentum perspective. If it starts breaking over 9.25 or something like that, then you could get that momentum back in here and could be ready to make a second leg higher to go retest those highs. So that's it. That is what I got. 2 stocks that we own, ATVI and Zynga. Breakout candidate there in GRWG, pullback in SGEN, Expedia on the bear side, and then keep an eye on those indices. Those are the trade ideas, the markets and stocks that we're paying attention to on Wednesday. So thanks so much for tuning in and watching. Every Wednesday we do trade videos just like this, bringing you hopefully some interesting technical patterns. What are you watching today? I'd love to know in the comments below. Do you like any of these setups? Are you trading any of these setups? Do you have positions in any of these setups? I'd be curious to know if this aligns with what you guys are trading out there. So thanks so much. Have a good day. We'll see you back on Friday.